The situation around the Elder Scrolls 6 has gone from slow development to concerning for many now after yesterday's article. This is coming straight from the people who actually work for Bethesda on the Elder Scrolls 6. IGN spoke with multiple employees who, of course, did not want their names mentioned for obvious reasons, and they're describing the picture of where the Elder Scrolls 6 is right now as concerning. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. So earlier this week, Xbox had thousands of employees laid off across the gaming division. Bethesda was hit very hard. Most of the cuts landed on the teams working on the Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76. But now we have learned that some of the Elder Scrolls 6 developers were let go as well. Bethesda Game Studios has always made Elder Scrolls titles with small teams. Skyrim had a very tight group of developers who had years of experience with Bethesda's tools and Bethesda's engine. The developers are now saying when you cut a few of those people out, you're not just losing manpower, you're losing engine specialists, designers who understand the world building, artists who understand the world building, and a lot of the knowledge that keeps that small team efficient. They've also said you lose a lot of the knowledge that keeps those smaller teams efficient and running smoothly. The Elder Scrolls 6, they're saying, did not have a huge team to begin with, and now it's even smaller. The report included quotes from current employees who say the morale has taken a hit. And we all know morale is going to be down after all of these layoffs. These people have worked with some of these individuals for a really long time, so that is understandable. But one developer said they're now afraid they're going to be replaced by cheaper contractors, and that is something we've been hearing kind of across the gaming world in general after these layoffs happened. Another one saying that onboarding some of these new hires from these cheaper contractors is going to take a long time to get them up and running with the game. So that slows everything down. And the key point here is Bethesda's tools are custom. The Creation Engine 3 is not the Unity engine, it's not the Unreal engine. So they're saying it's hard to just bring someone in and expect them to be productive in one day because there's a lot of learning that needs to be done going into what Bethesda uses for their tools when making a game. So that means everyone that is new, if they're hiring newer contractors that are a cheaper price, they have to be trained more. They say that means more delays. And when it gets down to crunch time, they are concerned that they will not be able to put out a good of product as they could have if they had the regular team working on the game from the start. They said one other issue is they're also worried that the next round of layoffs, which we know Xbox is going to lay off another 1,600 employees before the end of the fiscal year, that is concerning because they're afraid they may lose even more people working on the Elder Scrolls 6, even though it is considered a major brand. We do know Xbox a few weeks ago, a lot of the upper management people talked about how they wanted to go back to the kind of core idea of the console, but also the core idea of some of their major branded games. And of course, the Elder Scrolls is one of those. A lot of people are speculating that if there is more layoffs here, this could be a concern for the game, considering it's been so long since we got that first announcement back in 2018. And this is going to kill even more momentum of the game getting done anytime soon. One of the bigger alarming things was a lot of the Bethesda QA department was also laid off. This is the studio that deals with things like bugs from Skyrim, Fallout, Starfield, and Oblivion. Any QA department, any testing department is going to be kind of the backbone of any video game, or really any business in general. But cutting a big portion of that is a big risk. We all know these games sometimes don't launch in great states anyway. And if you have less people looking at this stuff and trying to get everything fixed before a game is released, this is also a concern of many people that work for Bethesda. Even if the game is brilliant when it comes out, it looks amazing. It's great when it comes to creativity. If it has a lot of bugs and a lot of issues and a very rough launch, that is not going to be good for the game going forward. We all know nowadays there's a lot of stuff that comes out that people can go play. Most people will not hang around and wait for a game to be fixed completely. They'll just move on to the next thing. And that is also a concern within Bethesda from some of these developers that are speaking, of course, with IGN. They said they feel like Xbox is trying to patch holes by shifting developers from other projects as well. And they did confirm, and this is something we talked about in a video a few days ago with all these layoffs, that some of the Elder Scrolls Online people will be moved to the Elder Scrolls 6. And they said that does help, but it doesn't solve the core issue because the ESO devs are experts in live service content, not just single player open world RPGs. But the other issue is, once again, they have to learn that Creation Engine 3. So they have to train them in that because they're not using that same engine in ESO. So they will still need time. They said this is an improvement. It's not a clean fix. It's more damage control, they said, is the way that a lot of people feel now working for Bethesda. That Xbox is just really doing damage control. They're not really fixing the issues that are the main problems at some of these developers. Before the layoffs, the Elder Scrolls 6 was reportedly still 2 to 3 years out or even further. Now that they have fewer developers, lower morale, of course, more onboarding, more training, cuts in the quality department, studios being restructured, and most of anyone that works under the Xbox umbrella now is worried about just what's going to happen in general with a lot of instability. They say the development cycle is not going to really improve. This is not going to be a shorter one now. Like, they're wanting to get the game out quickly is the way Xbox is talking. And the developers are saying with what they have to work with right now, that's not going to be the case. That it's going to take even longer than it already was to produce the Elder Scrolls 6 or to actually have the Elder Scrolls 6 in a playable condition to release. So the sad thing here is it looks like it's not doomed, but it's in a fragile place right now. The layoffs don't seem to just slow development. They have kind of changed the foundation of the studio that was working on the Elder Scrolls 6 for all of this time. And I know a lot of people will say it should have been out long ago or long ago, and I agree. I don't think they should have ever shown off a trailer in 2018 if they didn't plan on releasing the game before 2030. That's just ridiculous. But the Elder Scrolls 6 future now depends on how fast they can get everything up and running again. And also getting new people into where they need to be to finish the game. And also we'll have to wait and see when Xbox stops really cutting employees. This is a concerning update. This is probably one of the more concerning updates we've heard about the Elder Scrolls 6 in several years now. Not because the game itself is in trouble, but because the people making it are now saying that this is going to be a longer, more tedious process. And in their mind, it may not be released in the quality it could have if they had the original team still there. Leave me a comment with your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And of course, if you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.